Good evening, viewers, and welcome to Calypso Showcase. And with that introduction from the Nocturne Fascinators, Winston Simon, this gives us the cue for tonight's program, which we may simply call The Birth of Pan Part 2. You'll remember a few programs ago we had Carlton Ziggily, Constantine, and Kendolph Cokie Mason on the program, and they gave us an insight as to how they thought Pan came into being. Well, tonight we want to take another look from a different perspective, as we have two people who knew Winston Simon, and they're going to tell us what they know about the birth of Pan. We welcome to our set Trevor Belmosa and Tex, what's his name again?
Batiste.
But Tex Batiste.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, welcome. And first of all, just a little bit about yourself and your involvement with Spree.
Well, Alvin, first of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity and this moment to be able to honor the late, great Winston Simon, whom I'm considered as the father of Pan. And secondly, I want to congratulate and thank you for providing the medium so that we can continue to honor our great heroes, especially this Caribbean hero, who have invented and pioneered the 20th century latest musical instrument, the pan. Well, I'm presently the Public Relations Officer of CARIB Tokyo, and I was born and grew up in Junjun. My parents also grew up and were born in Junjun. And I knew Spree as a little boy.
Before we talk about your direct relationship with Spree, let's talk a little bit about you. What's your academic qualifications, that sort of thing?
Well, I have a bachelor's degree in public administration from Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn, New York. I also have a master's degree in political and social sciences from the New School for Social Research in Manhattan, New York. Mm-hmm. And those are the two degrees that I have presently.
It's very significant, the college that you went to. There was something in relation to an honor being bestowed on Spree in New York. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in 1991, the United African Movement, which is a community-based movement of African leaders and African people in New York, who were honoring Calypsonians, inventors, singers, and so on. And they were honoring Winston Simon. And I got the information through the Ministry of Culture at that time. And they said they needed someone to go down and receive this award and to say something on behalf of Winston Simon. And in 1991, I flew over to New York and received this award and spoke on his behalf, and to congratulate New York for recognizing the contribution that Winston Simon made. And I found it quite strange that even within our own society, he has been given that form of recognition. And I also saw on Sesame Street where they highlighted Winston Simon. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing that out of Trinidad and Tobago, Winston Simon is being honored, and I feel that this is the time that we need to honor our own heroes.
All right, let me talk a little bit to Hollis. Hollis Tex Batiste, one of the management members of the band CARIB Tokyo, and it's very significant that we have him here tonight because Winston Simon founded the band Tokyo, and later tonight we'll hear a little bit more about that. But tell us a little bit about the band today and how it's doing, Tex.
Well, the band has come a long way from where it started. What I can say, my part in it was like from 59, 60, when we started the first steel band, apart from the steel.
The transition.
The transition into a year-round steel band from a band side type of thing we used to have, right? So we had it organized from there on in. And I think we're doing fine so far.
So what was your first recollection in terms of your, let's say, interaction with Spree?
Well, as a boy, one of my uncles were real buddies, right? So I used to always sneak the chance. And he was a man, he loved this comic books and this type of thing. He was a very humorous guy, too. And we had a little thing going as a little boy, exchanging comic books and stuff like this. And playing pan, myself and his nephew, which was Jungi, they used to call him. His name is Roderick Simon, deceased, right? So we had a nice little thing going. He used to make special pans for us, and used to stay close to Run, feel a little movie and stuff, when they tune in the pan and stuff. But strange enough, everybody talks about Winston Spree, the genius, which I thought he was, right? But they seem to highlight one or two sides of him. He was a man of many different sides, right?
Well, I think tonight we're going to bring that out very clearly. Well, you know, Trevor, one thing I want to ask you before we look at some prepared videos that we have. When you watched the first program, we have The Birth of Pan, and you saw some, and you heard some of the things that were expressed in that program. I know you got in touch with me right after when you expressed it, but tell me, how did you feel about it?
Well, first of all, like I said, I felt very great to see that the pioneers were being highlighted. But within that, feeling great because it shows that our society has a lot of creative geniuses in the area of pan and a lot of pioneers. But Winston Spree Simon was not given a positive image. It seems to be marginalized. So I wrote to you and I said, well, the society hasn't really honored this man. And I feel it's time that maybe you can show the positive side of him and show his contribution, include him as one of those people who were in the discovery period of the birth of pan. And well, here I am today, and I thank you for that. So.
Well, viewers, all I can say is that we want to give you the full picture. We've given you one aspect from people who are based in the Belmont area. We are looking at those who are based in the John John area. In subsequent programs, we may find people in other parts of Trinidad that have a contribution to make. We'll take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Welcome back. And in case you've just joined us, you're viewing Calypso Showcase, and we are looking at a continuation of The Birth of Pan. And our special guests tonight are Trevor Belmosa and Hollis Tex Batiste. Well, we're going to take a journey now to the Panyard of the Carib Tokyo, once known as Destination Tokyo, and before that they were called just the John John Band, and before that they were just called the East Band. So let's go now to the East Band.
Oh, what an invention! It should be the pride of our nation. Steel band music, the world know about it, and if we invent it, so why should we disregard it? But what a scene! Lord, it have me grieving. Why is the steel band still suffering? Uncle Spree, take it easy. I could tell you. Ask Booksy, ask Boogie, them could tell you. Give me. Boom, 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 boom.
Trevor, your book, The Soul of Pan, what prompted you to do the research and to get the material together for this book?
Well, Alvin, two major reasons, and I will add three in 1993. The first reason is that when I returned from living abroad for 17 years, I returned to my home base, which is John John. And the people were discussing, especially the elders, the elderly men who were in the steel band were saying that Spree Simon hasn't been recognized where he should be recognized. And I said, well, I'm capable of writing. I have some writing skills. So there was a motivation from these old people to do something so that the history of steel band and especially Spree's contribution gets recorded. So that was the first motivation, was to compile the information from the elderly pan men and put that down on paper so that the history will be kept. There will be a record of his contribution and of John John's contribution in the whole thing. And the second one was that seeing that pan is being accepted internationally now and is moving very fast throughout the world, we wanted to also highlight that Trinidad and Tobago is the birthplace of pan, and that we must not forget that and not allow other people, other countries, other nations to steal that idea that pan was born somewhere else outside of the Caribbean. So those were the two motivating factors. And most recently, when the government announced that pan is our national instrument, it became more significant that you have a national instrument, but you must have someone who made a contribution towards that national instrument. And a young child asked me some time ago, who invented our national instrument? And I was able to say, well, in the soul of pan, in this book, we have chosen and we have identified Winston Simon as that person. And this is the type of consciousness we want our nation, our children in our nation to have, the people in our nation, as well as the world. As pan travels on, they ask that question, who invented your national instrument? Where did it come from? Which area did it come from?
Spree is our hero. He invented the pan. The pan come from John, Trinidad and Tobago.
Did you set out to prove that Winston Simon was the inventor of pan, or did you set out to find out who was the person that initiated it?
Well, to be honest, after doing some research and reading, I found out that he was the one first recognized for playing tunes, full tunes in public. And there were several books, one by Mark Anthony Jones, there was one by Michael Anthony, and other people who said that Spree was in the forefront. So therefore, being a son of the soil of John John, automatically that sort of motivated me to say, well, yes, I too, because I saw him when I was young. I was in a pan tent when I was about 8, 9, 10 years old. And I said, yes, I am going to, because there are many people they mentioned who were involved in the innovation of pan, but he was the one who rose up and got recognition first. So I said, yes, he is the one to be identified as the inventor. And more importantly, my uncle, who is Wilson Bartholomew, who they call Shaker or Ticklip, when Spree did an interview, Spree said, yes, I was in the forefront. I discovered 4 notes. And he said, Wilson Bartholomew Ticklip, I loaned him my pan in 1939, and he pounded so, and it looked as though it was damaged. And when I tried to knock it back in, I got 4 notes. And from there, the word spread that there were 4 notes, and you can get some simple tunes or songs or tones on it. And so Wilson Bartholomew was my uncle. And growing up and hearing that in my home environment, naturally I had to include Spree and include my uncle because he was related to the whole discovery.
Well, what really happened, really true in fact, was caustic pan. Spree was beating the pan. They have a friend named Wilson, he in America right now. And then Spree let him the pan to beat. He beat Spree pan too hard and sink it.
Those were the days when the pan was convex.
Caustic pan at the time, you know. Then boy had a small caustic pan. They came a woman in a house. They greasing it and doing all kind of things. So Spree had the pan, he let Wilson the pan. Wilson then the pan. So when he come and take the pan from Winston, and he hit the pan, the first note, he heard song the front, he hit the next one, he go for a cutlass to cut up Wilson.
So you say damage the pan?
Yeah, he say damage the pan. So when we try to cool it down, right at the corner down there, he cool it down, and he hit the pan, pam pam, pam pam. He said good, and the band started a bit and go. That time we had now Popeye, Andrew Bedu, Goy, Mos, that's him Jonah Regis, and all them fellas beating them small pa. And when them fellas had beat the pants, the band going down the road where we had Bongo Taffy, Sunnytail, Fred, and somebody else on the biscuit drum. When they hear them biscuit drum, the whole ground here was shaking. When they see they started beat them drum, and I in front of the band. The band from here to the station, they were better people were like, he started beat this, hit this pan, and he get the 2 notes in it. Then he started to make this pan called ping pong pan. Now the way he used to do it now, he didn't just sing the top. He used to sing, turn the pan, put it on 2 stones, and hit it down so in the bottom, so it swell out. And when he done now, he take the hammer and make our sing in the center and make the notes and them on it. You understand? Make the notes and them on it.
Right.
You know, and then time after time we had the happen is a bit of ping pong. And he played the tune on it, you know.
What kind of what tunes do you remember him playing?
A warrior, all kind of different tunes.
I'm a warrior.
And yes, anything so he's a play. He play Jim Kobe to Jim Kobe to get is what you know, what is it to get? Why I see a little brown boy calling for me. I see a little brown boy calling for me. I can't remember the tune. I'm so old now. I forget.
A little brown boy calling for me.
Jim Crow, the old jailer, was the watchman over there in the quarry over there. You know, he beat all that kind of tune. But the tune that he really beat is when he played juju band. He beat the English anthem down Broadway. All them police and them are alert on the horseback, and some who sign up keeping duty alert. But the only person could they talk really true and fact about this band too is Oscar Pyle. Because Oscar Pyle really love Tokyo Band. Don't mind the Casablanca man, but he love Tokyo Band. Because when he bring out the United Nations, he come and help you out with certain different parts, I think, on the different side. You see, he love Tokyo Band.
Tell me something, there was a talk that Winston Simon played a number of tunes in front of the Governor General's house one carnival. Do you remember that incident?
Well, yeah, that's a long time. I don't think I was there, but I hear about that. I don't think I was there. You know, I don't think I was there, but he beat a lot of tune. And like the more drunk he is, the more tune he beat. So if he fooled me at a time, they beaten pan, I think, right here. So he carried me outside, down the road in the square. He said, let me take a walk. We go on down the road. I hear the band beaten good. Me, I find no mistake in the band. I see stamping the foot. This so and so man. I say, what tune he beaten wrong? You hear a man go right in the center and go right through the bar and go and pick up the man who beating the pan wrong and through. I said,
that's a good ear.
I said, what is this? That was pan a wrong neck. It wasn't like now. But he really had an instinct for pan. I know where he created that from. But he just started song pan, and after he started change up pan in different ways and make more notes and all kind of things. And he between the hand, just and like the more drunk he is, the more he beat. When I hear when the Taspo was going away, the first person they picked for Taspo was he. You see, they come for he first. Then I think we go for Ellie and some other fellas and things. Well, he learned a little bit pan with 2 sticks, because Ellie's a 1-hand beater. You understand? But he always behind me to learn to beat pan, but I never like it. Because if you beat a pan and you go by somebody or go by somebody's daughter, and they know you're a pan man, they want to see you. They run in you from the house, they're behind the daughter, or you're a vagabond, you're a street boy. Now everybody beaten pan.
In your opinion, would you say that Winston Simon is the man that invented the steel pan?
Well, to me, what I see him do, I feel he's the first man find a note on a pan. To me, you know, I don't know if any other fellas.
Talk next to Newton Farrell. Everybody calls him Gabba, so let's talk to Gabba now. Gabba, welcome.
Same to you.
Well, we're trying to shed some light on this whole question of the birth of pan, Winston Spree's contribution. What do you remember?
Well, I can tell you directly. I remember looking from the Tambo Bambo days. And from then, around 39, 40. It was before the war. So we had a place down here in St. Louis, the blacksmith shop. It's a Headley blacksmith shop. They used to practice stick fighting there. So you know about your stick fighting, Tambo Bambo involved.
Correct.
And as far as I know, we've been in the playground right here in St. Louis Road here. We used to, as little boys, we used to hang around. And all from there then, old pan come in, you know, with a rhythm to keep up with the Tambo Bambo. So fellas used to beat little old pan, pitcher pan, pan, all kind of pan, and keep up the rhythm with the Tambo Bambo as for the stick fighting. And our next dance we used to call Tobago dance. I think they used to call it some ring dance or something, so now me, I can't remember. We used to call it Tobago dance. And during that course, I remember really, it had one or two fellas being as they beating the old pan and thing. Somehow they get certain pan and they get certain 2 songs on it. You know, there's a 2 song, 3 song, you know. But they get involved after a time with the same caustic pans and them. Because they're a tin metal business. So many used to sing 2 note, 3 note. And why you get the little pin pan and them, they're getting little 3 note, 4 note. That will have a finer
More refined
song than the caustic pans. Because they were more heavy. And during those years, really, as the war break out, I remember when they bring the more institution for the first really, fellas get a little more chance. I'm to improve. Well, Spree, I used to go to school as a young man at the same time. But he was involved just as how I as a young
What
man.
school was that?
Well, I used to go to the school there. St. Philip. I used to live right on top of Sweet Hill. The playground was we on.
What kind of persons was Spree?
I was a normal boy like any other little boy at my. Nah, I won't say like this. Today is different. Today is different. But you are a normal boy like anybody else. And somehow they like he was the street. Have a fella named De La Bastille, Andrew De La Bastille. I think they just call him Andrew Pan. Right. From around here. But all them, because everybody was like one. The same fella he now call it Shaker, Tick Clip, they just call him Wilson. That's the next name. All of these fellas Muff, Bongo Toffee, you know, all these fellas are wrong. So they just happen in various ways with a rhythm. It was just a rhythm.
How would you describe then the transition from Tambo Bambo to the instrument as we call it, pan, the early instrument?
In my book, the early instrument of pan starts from around 41 when they come with Chufak and Billy, Grumbler, which means they start to put 4 note, 5 note, 6 note. No, they can't beat no tune per se to sing.
Just a series of tones.
Tones, you know, but each one given a different tone. I remember them name well, Chufak, Billy, Grumbler, the bass kettle, tenor kettle.
Right.
I really caustic and you end up now with the boom, like the biscuit drum.
Right. 2 or 3 note.
And the biscuit drum want the flat note. But you have a way to beat it to get different song. We have a fella named Pacha, use some mass head.
One big flat note, but different tones, depending on where you hit it.
Right, and how it hit. Pacha was wrong in that end too. To be beaten to. He was a good, what you call it, boom man. Fella named Muff. And one or 2 other fellas. Well, anyhow, between that time, 41 to 44, 45, it had a different change in pan again. That's when men started to take them similar pin pan and get 6 note, 8 note, you know, reverse. So you'll find this fella could keep up a certain tune.
What are some of the tunes you remember?
Almost school tunes and things like that. So like Mary had a little lamb and all them kind of nonsense school business. This kind of
anything
like,
they could pick out.
I give school business, because that's how we grew up on the school, and school, that was the method. Then they started coming with the Baptist tunes, which is church songs then. You understand? They started coming, and this boy, Andrew, we had to call him, was a semi kind of master then, you know, you get more notes and more song on the pan. You understand?
What was your first recollection in terms of Winston Spree Simon playing recognized melodies on the pan?
45.
What were some of the tunes? Any tunes you can remember him playing?
Right. I think he wanted a tune, he died practicing that tune too. Well, all like the same Mary had a little lamb. And I could remember Ave Maria.
Ave Maria.
He died practicing that, seemed like that come part of him somehow or the other. Come some part of him all. Don't care which tune upon, don't care what tune he playing, he had to get Ave Maria on that band.
A lot of people do that, tuners. They have some little melody that they pick out.
And he died, I think, doing that. Because I remember he go to England, come back, and he was down here, and he still with the same thing in him.
There was talk of him playing in the streets on Carnival in front of the Governor General House.
But that is Digomat, that is the Woodbook, that when he played the same Ave Maria, that is in Mokorapo Stadium. Then in front, so they come to say he's the first man beat that tune on a pan.
Yeah, first recognized.
Right, because he beat that tune and somebody could sing. You understand the word in the tune because you know it.
How did pan develop in your eyes from 1945-46?
I would say tremendous. I would say tremendous. Because I could remember I have a partner named Zigili. We go to England. When he come back here in 84, 78 and 84, when he realized where pan going to, like he get crazy. But he couldn't understand it. He had to go back to school.
A new era.
He had to go back to school. The same thing happened to Spirit when he came back here. Pan was too advanced. That's why people say you have a panta banca. So you have to start back afresh to catch up with the younger ones.
Tell us about the birth of this steel band, Tokyo.
Well, John, as far as I know, 1939, that is the same rhythm business I'm telling you about. We used to go down to part tambu bambu and part pan. When saying pan per se, not to say pan beating a tune, pan with a rhythm.
Yeah.
A young boy at the time, maybe 14 or around the 12, 14, right? Pan with a rhythm. And in so doing, the bamboo had to slip out gradually, and more pan coming.
And that's where this band.
That is where Tokyo Band, or we say John Band then.
It started as John Band,
right,
and then the name Destination Tokyo.
Well, that's during the war, the pictures we used to see.
Yeah, the movies.
Right. That's how most steel band get the name by that.
Yeah.
All the
Casablanca,
movies.
etc.
Right. And I can remember too, in that era, Wrong had no other band. All around 40 days, and the Wrong had no other band.
How do you compare the band today to what it began as?
Today I would say we're too far gone, yes. Yes, I may say that because what I meant doing with pan and what the tuning pan now, the kind of song you're getting from pan, is far, far, far more advanced than in those era.
I understand that you are planning sort of tribute to him, a statue of him or something like that. That has been in the making for some time. What's the position on that?
Well, we have been planning it, as you said, for some time. Recently, we just erected a playground, and hopefully we'll name it after him. And in a short while, we have a project to build a memorial park right where he used to practice, right on the hill there, after him. And then we will try to get the Minister of Culture and other private sources to donate some funds to erect a statue on his behalf. Because we want the people to know that even though the Pan was born in Junjun, in the ghetto of Junjun, in the poverty area, something good came out. It is something now I see little children, Indian, African, Chinese, European children playing this thing. And that we shouldn't discriminate against what came out from behind the bridge. And we must identify Winston Simon. And I want to give you an analogy. Dr. Eric Williams was not the first person in politics in our country. There was Butler, Cipriani, Renzi, and a host of other people. But he came at a certain time and he was recognized and he's called the father of our nation. And it's the same way we see Spree. There were other Pan men, Oliveri Fisheye, there were Manhead, there were a whole host. But he rose up and he got that recognition. We see him as the father of Pan, of steel pan. And we want him to be recognized as such. And they say nothing good ever came out of the ghetto, out of Nazareth, and Jesus Christ came out there. And look what he did. And we're saying, give Winston Simon that recognition. It's 54 years. He said in 1939, in May or June, he discovered 4 notes. So it's 54 years now, and he hasn't been even given the Trinity Cross. He hasn't even been recognized. So we're saying, after 54 years in the wilderness, something should be done.
Welcome back to Calypso Showcase. And one of the things we wanted to show you tonight is to show you the legacy that Spree has left, that we have children as young as 7 years old already that can play big tunes on the pan. And we have a little boy, Caron Harris, just 7 years old, and we videotaped him playing this tune. Here's Caron Harris now.
Pan is our national instrument. And I think we should be mature enough at some point, after weeding out all the pioneers, to say, well, this one has risen to the top, and this is the one we identify. If we don't do that, you know, I want to go back to something in the Bible with Solomon and the 2 women who were claiming this child. And we cannot keep saying, well, we'll cut the child in half with this pioneer and that one and that one. We have to know who is the true mother of this child, or who is the true father of the pan. And we have reached that stage right now. And we are saying it's Winston Simon.